God. Ask God.
Hey, Scott. This is Dave here. And recently started listening to your podcast. I think it's been really helpful. And it's great, how much you provide for practical usage for us to advance our Amazon product businesses. And it's been really helpful to me. So thank you for that. My question is about my product, and I'm in an extremely competitive niche, and I knew I would be from the beginning, looking to get just a small piece of a big pie kind of thing. And we've been doing this for about a year, more seriously in the last 3 months, probably selling 3 to 5 a day is all. So I know I'm never going to make page one. That's the main point here. And, we've got a great product. It's got 4.7 stars. But after all said and done and all the advertising costs, we're not even going to make $1,000 a month. And have to really scale this up huge to make any decent money. So my question is, what would you do with this? Would you look at this as a learning product and move on to something that I have another product coming now, and it's a completely different niche, and I'll put some more time into that, but this is not related to the current product at all. And something I'm more passionate about. This old product I'm not very passionate about. It's just it was a way to make some money. But we're never going to make it without major advertising spend every month. So I don't see a huge amount of money possible with this business, and my passion's not really in it. So just curious what you would do. I hate to throw it aside because of all the goodwill we've created, and the people seem to like the product, but I'm not sure what to do next. So I'd like your feedback. Thanks for all you've done for us, and keep up the good work. Bye.
Hey, Dave, thanks so much for the question. And you really hit on a couple of different things there that I want to highlight. You're entering into, or you entered into, a very competitive market. And the last question that we just answered, we talked about a competitive market and how to, really go after that market, or to get yourself where you're seen and where you're able to start making sales, or you're able to be noticed into, a crowded space. And I know a lot of people say, well, this giant pie of, buyers, and I just want a sliver. But it still takes a lot of work to get that sliver, but it's possible. And it's possible by doing exactly what I just said in my last response to that other question, right? But the one thing that you said that really, I guess, I pulled out of that made me say, you probably should pivot and move into another direction. You got a couple options, but you said that you're not really passionate about it, and you did it just for the money. That's usually a sign that you probably don't want to go all in on that. And I know some people will disagree. They're like, well, if there's money there, I'll learn to love it. And I still say you're not going to be able to go down that road that long without getting burnt out, or without your quality going down, or any of that stuff, right? But you said that you weren't really passionate about it, but this next thing you really are. So you're going to, in my opinion, you're going to be doing a better job. You're going to be working harder at this other thing that you're really kind of, pumped up about, right? But the other thing, you've built some momentum, you've got some goodwill in that market. The option there would be, the one option would be to continue it, let it do what it's doing on its own, unless you have to keep feeding it. Right? Like you said, you have to constantly be putting a lot of ad spend into it. If you can do it where you don't have to put all that ad spend in it and still grab, that low hanging fruit where you're getting 4 or 5 sales, then I would say continue with it. The other thing would be, is there any other products that could support that one product that wouldn't be as competitive? Like, that's another angle that you could do that with. Now, me personally, listening to this, you're not like selling a ton to where I'd be like, wow, I'm going to lose all that. Yes, you're going to lose some time, right? I mean, hey, that's part of it, but you learned a ton, right? So you really didn't lose everything. You just, you're losing time, and the money you pretty much recouped because you're selling the product. So I personally would probably pivot, and I would go in that new direction that I'm excited about, and that I felt like I could do what I just explained in the last question. And the answer was, where you're able to really serve a market and really feel as though you're all in, right? That's going to make a huge difference. And even if you don't have as much competition, it's going to at least make it, more exciting for you and making you want to do it more. And then that will show. That will definitely show as you're building out that business. So that would be my advice to you. It's not like you have a business right now that's doing, $25,000, $30,000 a month. And, it's pretty much on cruise control in a sense to where you're just monitoring the pay-per-click and, you might be doing a promotion here and there, but it sounds like you really got to keep behind that. You haven't even really gotten the momentum going yet. I would be willing to cut the tie with that one, and say, you know what, I'm just going to take that as a learning experience, liquidate it, and kind of be done with it. That's me personally. I would never want to say that's exactly what you have to do because I wouldn't want to be responsible for that, but it's really up to you. But that's just my thoughts looking at it and listening to what you had said in your question. And the one thing I did pull out, like I said, was that you said you're not that passionate about it. So because of that, it already sounds like you're kind of not wanting to work on it, right? So I would take that energy that you're going to be focusing on this new product, and I would take all of that energy and focus there. If you guys want to submit a question, head over to theamazingseller.com/ask, and you can do that. I want to also, again, remind you guys, if you're brand new and this is your first time to the show, I want to welcome you. I love hanging out with you guys. This is just awesome to be able to virtually connect like this. And that's why I love the Ask Scott sessions. But if you are brand new and you're just getting your feet wet and you don't understand the entire process, the entire business model, I would recommend attending one of my live free workshops. This is where I break it down for you in 5 phases: how to pick a market and a product, how to source it, how to do a pre-launch, how to do a launch, how to promote the product, and everything in between. We go over that on a workshop, and we go through every single thing. We also do live Q&A. So if you want to attend one of them, I would love to invite you to the next one, and you can register for the next one by heading over to theamazingseller.com/workshop, and you can register there for an upcoming workshop. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com, and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session, and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business, so definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there, and some of it is really, really good. But what I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business, and this way here you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.